Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 55 of ZK Live. We have an exciting guest tonight. His name is Tony. You might know him as Tonester Paints. Big TikToker. Makes satisfying videos of paint being mixed. If you've been following the news, you probably know that Sherwin-Williams fired him over this paint mixing. So we're going to have Tony on. We're going to discuss his story on TikTok, what that all looks like, how it went down with Sherwin-Williams, what he's going to do in the future, his thoughts on social media, the power of it. I'm really interested to talk to a fellow passionate social media person, and we're going to discuss the struggles that you go through when talking to the larger companies and older people or larger companies in general. Not everybody gets the power of social media. Obviously, the people who are live right now do, because we're on social media. It's awesome. It's been a huge game changer for me and my company. Can't say enough about social media. We love it here. And Tony, who's going to be on any second, has 1.5 million followers on TikTok, millions and millions of views of his videos. He was mixing paint for Sherwin-Williams. You know, when you watch all that pigment go into the gallon, and it's very satisfying, and then you mix it up and you see the final color. He got into doing all sorts of crazy stuff. We're going to talk to him about all that. And he actually went to Sherwin-Williams with a plan on how to help them market their company using his following and social media. I'm not sure exactly how that went. We're going to ask him about that. And they, from what I understand, they didn't listen or ignored his presentation, didn't even hear his presentation, and shortly after fired him. He has a new job now for Florida Paints, and he's continuing his social media journey. His journey, social media has been a huge part of it.
What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
Oh, it's going wonderful, man.
Good to hear.
Good to have you on. We got a TikTok celebrity.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Let's go, buddy. I love it, man. I have nothing but respect for what you're doing. I get it, and you know, I'm sure so let's just start off. Tell me your story. How'd you get to Sherwin-Williams? Why'd you start making videos? And then we can get into everything else.
For sure, dude. So about 3 years ago, I had applied for a job at my local Sherwin-Williams in Cleveland, because one of my friends had worked there, and she was moving away to college, and so there was going to be a job opening. I needed a job, and then I started working there. Fell in love with the job immediately. I loved, helping customers out with their own projects, getting them the right products they need, helping pick out colors. Basically, the process of mixing paint was very fascinating and interesting. And so I moved down to Athens in the summer of 2019, and then I downloaded TikTok last December. Okay, and I saw people were making paint videos at other paint stores. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll do the same thing. Because here in Athens, I mean, it's not really the biggest town, so the store's not really that busy. So in my downtime, I would make a video with a customer order here and there. And the videos took off almost immediately. It was pretty cool.
And were you using you didn't use a tripod from the first one, did you?
You know what I used to do is I had like a little magnet phone mount on the back of my phone, and I would take a dolly, take a metal wrench, and attach it to the dolly, and that would be like my tripod.
That's tremendous.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to get a picture. You got to remake that setup at the new place. Get a picture of that, because that's gold right there.
Yeah, dude, that's what I did. I mean, I put the phone magnetized to the wrench, and it worked perfectly, man.
Yeah, because that is one thing when anytime you speed up videos, if it's not steady, boy, that'll give you a headache.
Yeah, screw it up for sure.
So you started making some videos, found some success. Obviously, I've been there. You do that, it's like, oh, I want to do some more of that.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I thought, I've always been one believer in digital marketing. Very important for any industry, especially with how things are moving forward, COVID-19 wise. And yeah, man, I mean, it was just it was a cool process, and I think people really enjoyed it just like I did when I first started working there.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 22.
Tremendous. Tremendous. I think you're younger than the average person that follows this show and watches my stuff. But I think, I mean, first of all, young people are obviously the future of buying paint. So,
Right.
and I know from my TikTok experience, most of my TikTok followers are probably under the age of 15.
You there?
Would you say that that's true for you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what was the question again? My bad.
It's a fairly young audience on TikTok,
Right.
generally, right? I'm amazed at how many people will say first in the comments on a TikTok.
You know, I never even got like the point of that, like saying you're first is like I don't know what people gain from that or doing whatever. But yeah, man, what I wanted to do was my whole pitch and my whole idea for Sherwin-Williams was to find a new consumer base, a younger consumer base, which are the users on TikTok and Instagram, these social media platforms. Like you said, not necessarily homeowners now, but a way to develop brand recognition through content they enjoy.
I think it's genius. And, you know, I already have 100 ideas running through my head about, like, what if it's just getting little kids to want to change their paint colors on their rooms more often?
Exactly, man. It's crazy.
So how did that go? So you had some success. The following started. You started making more and more videos. How did that process go? What were the things you learned? How did you get better?
Well, it took a lot of research, especially with TikTok. I think now it's a little bit different, but back a year ago, no one really understood the algorithm, what videos did well, why they did well, why they didn't do well. It took a lot of research. I always follow 3 rules now for social media in creating content. It's consistency, quality of content, and follower engagement, like engaging with your audience. So I followed those 3 rules for basically YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and it seems to be working out pretty well.
Yeah. So, and with your quality of content, were the videos pretty much the same all the way, or did something happen where you started to change the way you made them to get better engagement?
Well, yeah, that's when the whole issue ran in with Sherwin-Williams, where I was putting blueberries inside of paint. So I
love that.
You got to change it up every once in a while, like just change the little things, get a little creative with it. I had done research that from the history of paint that people used to use natural pigments like berries, roots, vegetables, and extracting the dyes from them to color paint and make paint. So I thought I bought some of my own paint and put some blueberries in there and colored the gallon. And that's like you said, you got to change it up every once in a while.
And boom.
Exactly.
Come on. I saw that video for the first time and I was like, oh, this guy has figured something out. Like,
right.
And that's what's so interesting about TikTok specifically so I have Instagram for my company. It's pretty serious most of the time. It's a demonstration of what are we doing and how are we doing it and our passion. Mm-hmm. But we started this TikTok during COVID just for fun because I was bored and I had a bunch of old videos. I just started putting them up and we had some success. And then we had this one video go viral and I had interns remaking that video with different types of paint.
Oh, really?
And we were playing around with let's get ridiculous.
Right.
How can we make crazy videos?
Right. And that's part of it. Yeah, you're right.
It's how do you think outside the box? So what you did some blueberries, and that came from research on paint dyes.
Yes.
Dude, I love you, man. That's tremendous. I'm a giant paint nerd myself. I spend a lot of time studying, researching paint. So that sounds like something I definitely would have done.
That is awesome.
So what else have you put in paint?
Let's see. I put glitter in paint. A lot of people like glitter. I've been using like alcohol dyes from like the craft store, and that just, I mean, that doesn't really do much to the paint. It'll tint it a little bit, but that just kind of gives it a cooler effect when it's mixed together. I put blackberries into paint. I'm trying to think what else. Man, it's hard to think of it. Chalk. I've done chalk too. Yeah.
And I'm not familiar. What do you know? What the best performing video that you've ever made is?
Dude, it's probably the one where I explained how I got fired from.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot about that one.
Other than that, I forgot to mention the glow in the dark paint. A lot of people like that one too.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
And do you know which one of those of the paint mixing ones did the best?
Besides the glow in the dark one, probably the next one's probably the blueberries, if that's what you mean. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're mixing paint, you're getting a following, you're having some fun. You're obviously, I think anyone who finds success on social media, they're doing the homework, right? You have to do the homework. You have to figure out, how does this thing work? No one finds success, I don't think, without actually studying and iterating and trying to figure out how this, like, the algorithm works.
Right.
I know I've spent plenty of time thinking about that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you had that going on. How long into it before you decided you wanted to talk to Sherwin-Williams?
I'd say it started in December 19, and April is when I first made that presentation. And you know, I really, the thing was, my whole career path, my whole career plan was going to lead through Sherwin-Williams, because I liked working in the paint industry so much, being in the store, like I said, helping customers. It was just very fascinating to me. So, like I said, that was going to be my whole career plan. And I don't know. And it was kind of a bummer when they let me go for it, but that's just how it goes, you know?
Dude, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
So I heard, you know, you see the stories. How did it go down? You came up with, like, did you first talk to somebody before you made your presentation? Did you make your presentation and then go to them?
Yes.
How did that work?
When I had came up with the idea of targeting a new consumer base in the paint industry, I developed the presentation, and I actually showed it to 4 of my marketing professors here at Ohio University, just to like make sure, you know, see if it looked good to present to a Fortune 500 company. And then I presented it to my sales rep and store manager, who knew that I was making the videos for the intentions of targeting new consumers. They liked it, and they were the ones that actually had given me the contact for the marketing department at headquarters. And then that didn't work out. It took them a little while to get back to me, and then they just said there was no really any extra promotions going on. And so from there, that's when I started doing my own thing.
I noticed that the first video that you ever made, the caption is "Come buy some paint at Sherwin-Williams."
Is that really what it was?
Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
which is like, it's not a surprise when people who find success on social media, they're not, I think some people look at it and they think it's easy and silly, but I think that obviously you're a smart guy, and there's been some thought behind all this stuff. And that's what it's really cool I'm glad that you get to have this opportunity to talk. I'm sure other people have interviewed you. You know, it's not just some dude in a corner who started making videos and they all went viral, and like, it doesn't happen like that.
No, it does not. Nope.
So I'm glad. And so I was happy. I smiled when I saw it. Was kind of ironic that the first post you ever made said, "Come buy some paint at Sherwin-Williams."
Yeah, I didn't even remember that. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to go back and look.
So you already had an idea that, so you're in school for marketing?
Yeah.
All right. Well, like, yeah, of course. So you were in school for marketing, you saw this, and your first post was it was a form of marketing already.
I mean, dude, like I said, that was my intention from the get-go, was to get people to buy paint. Love being in the paint store, making paint. Why not use digital marketing since it's already so important? Use it for the paint industry.
Dude, it's brilliant. I love it. I love it, man. And it's great. It doesn't surprise. I saw that Gary Vee video that he posted earlier, and I agree with it. Like, I get why. I've spoken to a lot of people at Sherwin-Williams, and I understand bigger companies,
Right.
and it's a different culture than my small business where I'm like encouraging all my employees to be on social media, and like, it's a huge thing for us. But I get it, but also like, man.
Dude, that's the crazy thing about it. I like you just said, I understand Fortune 500 company. Mistakes are going to be made. Things are going to fall through the cracks. They have thousands of employees. They can't, things aren't always going to be relayed right and all that stuff. But I think the most disappointing part about being fired was I never even got to talk to the only person I talked to throughout the entire investigation was the loss prevention guy, the dude that wanted to make sure I wasn't stealing and if I was doing it on company time or not. So I never got to explain my true intentions with these videos to my district manager, HR. No, it seemed like a very like strange way to fire someone. Very like vague. I just felt like they wanted me out from the get go. I don't know if it like had something to do with COVID or I don't know. I just don't know. I still don't know.
It's a shame because you were not just some kid making videos with no intention and just like, you have a passion for the company. You have a passion for mixing paint. You have a passion for marketing.
Yes.
And obviously you're good at it.
Right.
So, all right. So Sherwin-Williams decided they didn't see it. I'm sure they're going to see it. Let's be real. In the next 5 years, Sherwin-Williams will hopefully turn around and have some presence in the social media marketing world.
They're going to have to. I mean, that's any company, though. Social media is so important in everyone's lives. Digital marketing, I mean, it's just the future. There's no way to get around it. So, and the Sherwin-Williams primary consumers right now are, I'd say, homeowners. But the consumers they have already have had that brand loyalty that they've had their entire lives. That's not really going to be the case in maybe 5 to 10 years, like you had mentioned. People are going to have to figure out what kind of paint they want. And if they saw content that they enjoyed, that really resonates with a lot of people our age.
Yeah, I don't think people quite understand the power of social media.
No.
I speak to a lot of people, and they might say, "Well, I don't use it," and I'm like, "Dude, I don't care. It's not about you."
Right.
Like, and I think people have a hard time who don't use social media understanding the power of it. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of people. We do high-end painting, very high-end stuff. Most of our work, and people would tell me, "My client, you're crazy. Your clients aren't on social media." Blah 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 blah. I can't tell you. I was at a job today. I just signed a job today with a client who found us on social media and had gone through everything that we did. He could tell you all the different projects I've worked on, the things he liked that he wanted to incorporate in his house. And it's just funny when I've talked to hundreds of people who just don't get it. And at this point, I've stopped trying to convince them. For a while, I was like, dude, I tried hard.
That is so awesome that you are like gaining or having customers recognize your content on social media. It's so important, and that's what I trying to do too. And most people say that people who say they're not on social media, I don't believe that. They have to interact with social media in some way. Either that's YouTube, Instagram. I mean, they're basically search engines now. They're like almost like a Google, or you could look up any business you want on YouTube, Instagram. Maybe not TikTok yet, but that's getting there too. It's pretty cool.
I definitely look up any company on Instagram way before I would Google them.
Me too, man. Me too. That is crazy.
And that's because everybody can have a pretty website that's stagnant that they built one time with a bunch of hard work and pretty pictures.
Yeah.
But Instagram, it's like it's either you're the real deal or you're not.
Exactly, man. I mean, people will literally. I don't want to be that guy that says they'll judge you by how many followers your platforms have, like how legit you are. And I think that's. I don't want to say that's like. I mean, it's kind of changing towards that. People will make decisions based on your platforms.
Yeah. And like I believe I've seen it, and there's social proof that comes. Like for me, is there a difference between 30,000 and 50,000 followers? Probably not in that round.
No.
But once I hit 5,000, 10,000 followers, like I was a proven entity. Once I had a few hundred posts, I was a proven entity. And then once I beat the same drum, I'm the same guy every day. We're the same company every day, over and over and over again. You can't really hide on social media if you're posting regularly.
No. And, dude, consistency is by far the most important thing with social media. I mean, no one's going to engage or follow your platforms if you're not posting. You got. Sometimes I like to post twice a day. I don't know what you do.
I wish I would love to. My engagement would be through the roof if I posted twice a day.
What do you just do once a day?
So here's what happened. I was posting once a day religiously, and my following is growing, and I was a 2-person company, and now we've blown up in the last couple of years because of social media. Way more demand for our services than we can meet, and my attention has been taken away, so our social media has lacked. So recently, in the last few months, there's been like a week that went by I didn't post. Like, sad. I know. It's embarrassing.
Do you post on your stories ever?
I have had a story up for the last year straight. There's been a story up. Yeah. I'm religious with my stories. I will not. There's always a story up. I did slack for a while on my feed, but the last 2 weeks I've been posting like every day, and my following is skyrocketed. I was telling one of my employees today, I posted every day for, 10 days straight, gotten into the reels a couple times. Yesterday I posted twice in the day, post those reels. The reels, man, Instagram's feeding the reels up for weeks later. I'm still getting people.
I only have I think around 35,000 followers, and I'd say my average reel views are probably over 100. Yeah. They're trying to push those reels as hard as they can. And YouTube's doing those, I think it's called YouTube Shorts now. Almost like the same thing, short video platforms where you just scroll up and check out the videos. And I think, dude, that's important.
Yeah.
Our friend here on Tech Dailies, who's commenting right now, actually gave me all this advice about reels, posting, all that stuff. And that's funny that he's on the live.
I just wrote it down. I'm going to follow you, Tech Dailies. I love it. And it's something switched in me. As a business owner, I have to prioritize my time. There's so many things. And I've decided that I have to continue to make content because it's what got me here. And, I can't rest on it. So I've been on it, and it's amazing to watch your engagement go through the roof.
It's awesome.
With consistency and quality, like you said.
It's crucial, man. It is very important. But it's just exciting hearing about your story and what's going on with me. I mean, we're not even probably at our peaks yet with our platforms, and who's to say how far it'll grow from here.
Yeah. So speaking of that, and someone just asked, so what happened after? So how did the first person hear about? Did you make that post that said you got fired, and then that's when like news people found it.
Media broke out about it. Yeah, so I posted that video. That whole video, I think a lot of people misinterpreted it, was not to bash Sherwin-Williams in any way. What I've been trying to emphasize is thanking Sherwin-Williams for bringing me my passion and my knowledge in the paint industry. Every person I worked with at Sherwin-Williams directly was a great person, very fun to work with, very fun place to work. The goal of that video was to give my followers a reason why I do what I do. I feel like I hadn't really emphasized that before. And I was like, man, like people should probably know why I'm mixing paint in my friend's basement. So I've made a video saying like my story, my passion for the art of it, and I think I just didn't want people to think I was just dogging Sherwin-Williams because they fired me. Yeah. So
I think it was definitely people like me and people who get it definitely saw that and were like, "Oh wow! Like this is a thing. There's some tension right now between the future of marketing and business and what a lot of people who have maybe positions of power in older companies, their mindset, and there's definitely friction." And, you know, obviously Gary Vee was a huge influence in my life in the beginning of all this. And he's been able to capitalize on that and convince Fortune 500 companies to come his way. But still, I'm sure he runs into resistance all the time.
I mean, I thought actually, I think now compared to 2 or 3 years ago, it's definitely, especially with TikTok, that friction's definitely pushing way more towards the importance of digital marketing. People are definitely starting to open their eyes to it. I mean, dude, and COVID-19 really just shot that through the roof too, because everyone's on their phone, man. And talk about digital marketing, that's how you have to market to people if they're all at home.
It's so true, man. It's so true. So you started making them in your basement. Was it and then all of that media, did that help drive offers? And did people start reaching out?
Yeah.
Or did you go to them?
When I first started, or when I first uploaded that video, I'd say a few days later is when I started getting the media outlets on me, wanting to do stories, and I was open for it, tell my story. Following that, I'd say about every major paint company in the United States reached out to me, set up meetings for partnership deals, all that stuff like Bear, PPG, Benny Moore, a few smaller ones too. But I actually chose to work with a company in Florida called Florida Paints. It's a smaller paint company based in Florida, Orlando, Florida. You know, it's crazy. When talking to all these companies, Florida Paints was the only one that I felt understood my passion and my we both had a shared passion for the paint industry, which is something I've always had while working at Sherwin-Williams, the art of paint, what it can do for people. I mean, and the way I see it, my first manager told me this at Sherwin-Williams, what would a world be without paint? I mean, it wouldn't be anything.
Sad place.
It'd be a sad place, exactly. So that's where that connection came in. The founder, Don Struby, and I had a great connection about it. And all the other companies were great, like the bigger ones. Very nice people, had great offers too. But you know, when I was meeting with them, it almost felt like I was meeting with another Sherwin-Williams, like a big corporate culture kind of thing. Wouldn't be directly speaking to whoever's in charge. Just a big chain of command, and that's not something I was really interested after what happened to me at Sherwin.
Yeah, that's fascinating. It's definitely it's the antithesis of social media, where you have flexibility, you're agile, you're iterating, it's quick, and to try to do. That's why I feel for these big companies I think it's really hard to have good social media when you have to go through a bunch of hoops
It's
and
almost
lenses.
yeah,
Because authenticity is what wins in this. And if 19 people have to sign off on it,
I know.
it's going to be a very diluted message by the time you're done.
Exactly, and that is something I wanted to steer right away from, man. Is that honestly the whole thing getting fired from Sherwin-Williams, that might have been a blessing in disguise, because let's say they did hear my pitch and they were all about it, it would be diluted with there'd be no authenticity to it, and that is so crucial for social media. People want to feel connected with an actual person, not being fed advertisements with just BS, you know. But yeah, it's an art form, man. Social media really is an art form.
It is. And when you get it, it's so obvious. You know, like
Right.
once you really figure it out, it becomes so obvious. But it's scary, right? It requires you to get uncomfortable, to really, like, I mean, we're on a live stream right now. Like, if we say the wrong thing, like it's out there.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of, like, the bigger companies don't like that, and a lot of people don't like that idea of not being able to curate everything and edit everything, and you know. But I've always said, if you're the real deal, social media is your best friend.
Exactly.
Just put the camera on me, and I'll start talking for 2 hours. I have nothing to hide. Like,
Exactly. So
let's
important.
go.
It's awesome. It's like you said, man. Once you figure out social media, like before I started posting on TikTok, I was not active on social media. I mean, I would look at my feed and all that, but I would not post. Wouldn't be making content, and it really is hard finding that thing you're passionate with and somehow turning it into videos and content, pictures for social media. I mean, and I think TikTok probably was the best thing that ever happened to me in terms of it, because, I mean, short video platforms wasn't really too hard to edit, but I was just showing what I like to do, and I think that really resonated with a lot of my audience.
The other thing that I think is really powerful, why I jumped on TikTok when I did, is I saw from my experience on Instagram how if you get on a platform early, it's so much easier to gain a following.
Right.
Right? Like, let's be honest. Like, if someone if you started TikTok today, it would look nothing like the first year on TikTok now versus when you started.
Oh no, yeah, it's way too, I wouldn't say it's oversaturated, but it's definitely saturated.
It's saturated. And Instagram is the same way. You want to grow a following on Instagram, that's going to be a lot tougher slog than it was early days when people were willingly giving up follows.
Right.
Like, hey, sure, you look like halfway normal. Now I'm like, I only have so many follows. Like, I'm going to give you my attention. Like, oh man, you better really cross a high bar.
Right. It is crazy. I mean, geez, I'm just thinking back when I was even in middle school, when Instagram first started, when it had like that little camera icon for the app. Yeah, it is wild how much it's changed. It's basically, and I mean, you can shop and stuff on TikTok, or not TikTok, Instagram now. It's basically, and I think that's when it got acquired by Facebook, is when it really changed to stuff like that, like online shopping. And but yeah, like you said, man, it's harder to get followers on Instagram now. You really got to connect with people to gain it's almost like gaining trust, posting content that they want to see regularly. Very important.
But I think that the important piece is, that's why I'm really happy to talk to you and find out that you have this much substance to you. You know, you never know when you see someone on social media. You never know.
Exactly.
But like, what made you successful on TikTok was not this lucky thing. It was a bunch of like hard skills and the ability to study and learn and practice and iterate, and those skills can now translate to other platforms. Like, you're not stuck on TikTok, and when TikTok goes away, you're done. And that's what I try to think about. It's like I'm learning the core principles to social media marketing. that can be used across all other platforms. Because this stuff's not going to last forever, and there'll be another new thing.
Right.
And when the new thing comes out, I'll be the first guy on it this time. Because before I was late to the game, I said social media. My wife started my account 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I wanted nothing to do with it. And, had I started 6-7 years ago, I'd be way farther along in the game.
Right. I mean, yeah, man, it's just crazy how these platforms evolve over time and what they can really do for your business or yourself. Yeah, it's wild for sure. But like you said, translating it's not really it just takes a little bit of research. That's what I did. I mean, like you said, the skills of social media will translate to other platforms. It's like I said, I follow only 3 rules: consistency, quality content, and engagement. And those have got me to where I'm today. And if I'm missing a step, maybe I'll add it, but I still haven't figured it out yet.
No, that's huge. And that means it's a full-time job, right?
It is. Oh yeah, 100%.
I think people don't understand how much time goes into creating good content. And then the third one you said, the big time consumer is the engagement. I respond to every single comment on every post, and it takes a lot of time.
It does.
But it's a two-way street, right? It has to go both ways.
Right. Yeah. And for the influencer category like you and I are in, where we're strictly social media, or like a lot of these, like, I think what the misperception that people have is like a lot of like music artists or people that aren't really, their thing isn't really social media, it's something else, but they just have a large platform because of what they do and they don't engage. And I think that's what a lot of influencers don't get, is that you can't just ignore your fans just because it makes you look cool, or you don't feel like you have to because you got, I don't know. Do you get what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
it's an honor that people even would give me some of their attention.
Exactly.
Like, that's amazing. I'm grateful for it. And so obviously, like, part of the good stuff from social media means you also have to put the work back in and give back and not act like you're too cool for school. And, I respond to everyone. People send me DMs all the time. So that was one of the questions I have for you, is about crazy messages and DMs. I would imagine you get quite a few. Do you have any favorites you want to tell us about?
Dude, well, like I said, so a thing that I like to do every once in a while, going back to the engaging with the followers, is when, you know how on TikTok you can make a video reply with someone's comment. So I can tap someone's comment, make a video. So they'll request colors, and I'll usually make them. The one that really like was super weird to me was someone asked me to like mix like my blood in paint, and I can't do that.
You want to go viral. That's the way to go viral.
I mean, it's just weird, man. It's but I do like to people do say weird stuff. I mean, that's just all social media though, especially when you grow a platform so big, people are just going to say crazy stuff. But yeah, that goes back to the engagement with followers. Make them make content that they specifically want to see and connects with them.
Yeah. So someone asked you to use blood. Do you have any other crazy DMs?
Besides some girls messaging me, not really.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about mixing paint in like see-through containers?
I'm working on it. We got some glass jars, and we're gonna. I mean, a lot of people ask for that too. Maybe even like I don't know what angle that would be, but yeah, like you said, mixing the paint with from the side instead of.
We've done some stuff like that where we put cameras like in the bottom of the can of water and like cleaned a brush, and I had to file a warranty claim with my GoPro because it drowned.
What kind of GoPro do you have?
The black new one, I don't remember what it is. Honestly, I'm not a fan of GoPros anymore. The iPhone does everything for us.
Exactly. I just bought the iPhone 12 because I wanted that new camera, the 3 camera. I was just using my 10 before, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I have the 11 Pro. I don't want to go to that 12. That thing.
beautiful cameras, like you
The
said.
camera's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't even need a. I mean, that just takes away half the stress of like getting your storage from your GoPro to your laptop, then having to post it. Terrible.
Hey, you put impediments like that in the way, and I'm out. Like
Exactly. I just like shooting it on the iPhone, then just uploading it straight to TikTok or Instagram. It's pretty cool.
how do you edit your videos?
I use CapCut sometimes, but really, man, I just clip them down to get the empty space out of there, speed it up a little bit.
If you haven't tried Premiere Rush, I highly recommend it.
Premiere Rush,
Rush. That's it's like Adobe Premiere's tablet version. Super easy to use, amazingly easy to use, and has just enough features where you can like get rid of shadows, all that kind of stuff, and speed it up.
Months?
I don't know.
Nah.
Whatever. The cost of doing business.
Right, exactly. And I try to like when I use a lot of like trending music or hip hop music in my videos, and that's honestly just as simple as clipping it down to time or measures or beats per measure. I mean, so make the videos either 2 seconds long or each clip 2 seconds long or 4 seconds long. Or maybe 1.5, just keeping it at an even range, so it just goes along with the videos.
Wow, I'd never thought about it that way.
Yeah, I took some music classes in high school, so I understand how some of that works. And
Which
honestly,
makes sense.
Yeah, music and editing it to videos really is people. It's all the same basically. Like I said, just keeping it in the same increments lengthwise. It'll look good, sound good, and it's pretty cool. I like how TikTok. I think another reason I like TikTok a lot more than other platforms is the ability to add your own music and sounds and stuff like that. And people like to compare. Did you ever use Vine?
No, I didn't.
It's almost the same thing, except you can just add your own music to it. It's a little bit longer, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Let's see. So tell me about where you're at now. What's going on with Florida Paints?
Well, I'm finishing my last few weeks of school here next week, and then next weekend I'm driving down to Florida, get myself an apartment, and I'm going to be working in one of their stores while making content and creating videos with Florida Paints. We're keeping Tonester Paints alive. That's not going anywhere. We're going to utilize that to develop our own color line stuff, products and stuff like that.
That's awesome. So did you get a good lawyer to go over your contract?
No, my contract with Florida Paints.
Yeah.
No, it was a pretty straightforward deal, just like the other ones. I really trust I actually went down to Florida to meet the crew, check out the facilities. Fantastic people, a place where I could see myself working for a very long time. And they understand the importance of digital marketing, social media, and how that can be used as an advantage to other paint companies making content that people want to see.
So are they a paint manufacturer and distribution?
Yes.
Okay, so they make their own line of paint.
Right.
Awesome.
Very.
Well, yeah, so now I'm excited to so you're going to take over their social media then?
Yes.
That's
well,
awesome.
Actually, I don't know. I'm not going to be doing their social media. My bad. I'm going to be running with the Tonester Paints thing. It's almost going to be Tonester Paints powered by Florida Paints.
Oh yeah. So you'll be using their paint to make your videos.
Exactly.
I see.
Right.
I see. I can't wait to see what the future has for you, man.
Thank you.
I just we just made a video. I made a video about a month ago, actually, out of nowhere. We were spraying this like red paint at I have a school where we teach painting, and I was spraying this like wine red paint, and then some guy gave me this like pasta sauce that from a friend of ours who makes pasta sauce, and I was like, yo, hold on 1 second. So I just posted on Instagram, but I made a video where I poured the pasta sauce into the sprayer and then cut to spraying the like wine red paint.
Ooh.
And so now I have this, like, I have a bunch of, we were brainstorming ideas of all different insane products we could pour into a paint sprayer and then spray something else out.
Dude, that is such a cool idea. I mean, hopefully you don't have people calling customer service and asking if they can put pasta sauce in a spray. Like, what happened to me. But that, I mean, dude, that's just where the creativity kicks in, man.
Yeah.
And people will get that idea, love the content, love the colors, and colors create emotions too. It really resonates with people. I'd love to hear it, man. It's awesome.
So the next step is getting a wall. Maybe you've already gone here, but a wall at Florida Paints where the mixed paint gets applied to a wall.
A lot of people do ask me to apply it, and that's definitely going to be happening too.
I feel like it's like the itch that needs to be scratched at the end of that paint mixing. There's like this itch that's like, we still need to see it up on a wall.
Dude, it's a good idea. I mean, I'm going to have my own little studio down there too, which is going to be awesome. And we could start the wall. It's a good idea. I love it.
I have a TikTok wall here. We made it. It's a temporary. It's 2 sheets of 4x8 drywall on a frame of 2x4s, and we mess around and make videos all the time.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. It's a great idea.
Yeah, man. All right, so you're down in Florida Paints. Let's see. We have a couple questions that people had asked. But some of them you may have. Oh, here, this is a good one. Nick Peer said, "What would a younger version of you say to Tony of today?"
What, Nick Peer says that? All right. Dude, I mean, I would just say keep at it, keep the grind going. I mean, I've always been one to work hard and get after it, man. It's one of my big mottos. I've had periods. I think everyone's had periods of time in their life where things are down and whatever, but you got to just keep grinding, man. Get after it, and things will come eventually. It's very cool.
That's been my outlook on life. Just keep grinding, don't stop, try lots of things. You know, eventually you'll get there.
Exactly. It's awesome.
All right, so what's the future for you at Florida Paints? You don't have to tell us all the secrets, but you can allude to things that are to come if you want.
Well, I'm going to be working sales and operations for Paint. So if you ever want to come down to Florida, see me working there, I'll be there. And we're gonna get after it, man. We're gonna make Tonester Paints a legit thing and start getting some product out there.
I love it. Have you noticed the algorithm changing on TikTok as far as views and things go?
Are you a part of that creator fund that they have?
I never did that.
Yeah.
No.
That'll mess with your views.
One day it just like went, and then my interns went back to school and we just stopped making videos. And now I'm going to have to start making videos again.
Well, dude, the thing is about TikTok, too, one thing that I don't like about TikTok is if you do not post, they have that shadow ban thing. So it's basically punishing you for not posting. So you won't get any views or likes or any of that. But Instagram has that, too. But Instagram's only will shadow ban you if you're posting like inappropriate content or not being appropriate on the platform. But TikTok will literally shadow ban you if you don't post for a certain amount of time. That's one thing I like about that app. It's almost like you're a prisoner or whatever, but not a prisoner, but you
they want people to create content. I get it. They want people to stay on the platform. They reward people who create. Tech Dailies, I got to send you a DM. I want to talk to this guy. Do you know him?
I do. Very, very smart about social media. Awesome. Very awesome.
Maybe we'll have him on the podcast. I would love to. There was a time a couple years ago where I was very well versed on what was happening on Instagram specifically, and I was obsessed over how to grow following, and then it's kind of fallen to the wayside, and I got to probably pick my game up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean the way I look at it too, man, is if you don't always have to post the perfect videos. You just got to get something out there. Just something that can resonate with people, keep them engaged with what's going on in your business and in your life.
And I gotta get one of those blue check marks too.
Dude, I don't know why I haven't gotten mine yet.
I can't believe it.
I don't know. I don't know when that comes. I'm actually not too familiar when. I know TikTok basically picks and chooses who gets it, but I don't know about Instagram.
Yeah, it's time. I think it's time I apply again.
Wait, is that you apply for it?
On Instagram, you have to apply. Yeah.
Interesting. I'll do that.
There's like a thing in the settings you have to, and every time I go to do it, I don't have my ID on me. You have to have your ID.
How do they check? Like, how do they decide?
Something, I don't know, because there's people with like 2,000 followers who have check marks, and I think you have to have outside publications that verify your identity, and I think it's harder for brands than for people, maybe. I don't know. Tech Dailies probably knows all about this stuff, but there's an option under settings where you can apply for verification.
Interesting.
And then it asks you some questions and wants a picture of your ID.
Interesting. I mean, I should probably do that. I mean, I have some public verification now with the stories that came out. Huh.
Yeah, I would do that. Let's see. We'll race to see who can get the check mark first.
Sounds like a plan, man.
Yeah, man. Awesome. All right. Well, I have 3 questions I ask everybody. They're going to be odd for you, maybe, but we'll adapt. We adapt them. But I need actually, these will be fun. I need a DIY tip for people who are mixing their own paint.
DIY tip for people who mix their own paint. You know what? I don't know how they would paint it, but I don't know how you paint either. Always go gloss on the baseboards, and always go satin matte on the walls. I'm not a big fan of the flat. I don't know if you like flat finishes, but I like a little bit of wipeability. Just satin on the walls and semi or gloss on the baseboards indoors.
All right, I am. So we use mostly Fine Paints of Europe,
right?
And they have an unbelievable flat wall paint that's crazy washable. But my favorite is satin on the trim and matte on the walls. Generally, I think I like gloss on trim, but it has to be a very special project. It's expensive to do gloss at a high level. We do a lot of gloss, crazy high level.
Dude, matte finishes are beautiful. They're in right now too. When I was working at Sherwin-Williams, everyone wanted matte finishes. That like subtle hint of sheen, but not overpowering, you know. And Sherwin-Williams had paints that were washable, matte washable. But yeah, for sure, I hear you.
My least favorite thing is semi-gloss on trim. I just can't.
Semi-gloss?
Oh, I'm not a fan of semi-gloss on trim.
Wow, I'm on the opposite end there.
I did a ton of it early in my career, and I just think it's like cheesy now. And like, I don't know. I like the buttery smooth satin on the trim.
Right.
Because most of the time the trim's not prepped very well, the paint job's not awesome, and we want to kind of like, we need some like, I looked at a paint job today for a client, one of the worst paint jobs I've ever seen in my career.
Oh, wow.
House. And they had gloss on there, and I'm like, guys, I was like, first step, we have to tone this down to satin, and we prep work.
Man, would you say have to sand it down, or what'd you do?
We're going to sand it down, we're going to prime it, we're going to patch it, we're going to sand it. Some areas will probably prime twice and sand again, and then we'll put the satin on, and all of those things combined will make a huge difference.
Right. I was always a big fan of those bonding primers too. Those were especially, I don't know which if you use them, but bonding primers are insane. It makes it so much easier, I think.
You got it. You have to have good adhesion. It all starts.
That's literally if it does not adhere, the paint will fail, and you'll have to be repainted.
How good the paint is. If the first layer's not stuck,
exactly,
all for nothing. All right. So now the second question is, what is your favorite piece of paint mixing paraphernalia?
Ooh, what do you mean? Like which video?
Well, so usually we ask painters or designers or architects their favorite piece of paraphernalia they use in their business. Mm-hmm. So what is your favorite tool, piece of equipment, program that helps you do what you do?
Dude, it's the drill with the drill attachment on it. Love it, man. And it makes the videos look so cool.
It does, man. And you're the first person who's given that answer. So
I mean, I don't have a shaker anymore, so that's basically my only option. But I think it worked out.
I think it makes for better videos.
It does. It does. It's awesome.
Do you ever see Jeff Mack Design?
I have not.
Check out Jeff Mack Designs. They have a big and Black Forest Woodworking. They're both big Instagram accounts, and they do a lot of the epoxy.
Oh, really?
Tables and stuff. So they'll put of metallic pigment into clear. Super satisfying.
Dude, I've actually thought about getting into epoxy mixing, but I don't know much about it. I'm sure it's not too hard to figure out, and I also don't really know where to get it.
So you gotta reach out, if Florida Paints doesn't make it, find one of those epoxy companies and make some river tables, and you pour it out.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah,
it's awesome. I have a bunch of pigment powder too that's actually made for paint, latex paint, and epoxy. I just never had the epoxy for it, but yeah, I'll look into that for sure.
Yeah, they do. Jeff Mack does some really great content.
Cool.
He's down to a science.
That's awesome. I'll check them.
All right, so now the last question we ask everybody is, what is the most embarrassing moment that you've ever had doing what you do?
Embarrassing moments.
I painted the wrong house.
So one time, this actually wasn't even that long ago. It was actually right after I posted that video about myself getting fired. But dude, I tried showing a lot of people were requesting the color rose gold, almost like a pale pink color with like a yellow hue to it. And I made it for a video, and I put a filter on there just like I normally do, and the filter completely changed the color. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm still getting messages on that video getting grilled. People are like, that's not rose gold. I'm like, yeah, well, I know it's not rose gold now, but it was when I made the video.
It's amazing, dude. Hey, I'm so glad you came on here. This has been awesome.
Yeah, dude, we'll have to do it again for sure. It's been a great time.
I'm going to continue to follow what you're doing. And I'm going to post more regularly now because we had this conversation.
Exactly, man. Hey, man, like I said, consistency is key. It is key.
Absolutely, buddy. Hey, well, good luck in Florida, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It was nice talking to you.
You got it. Take it easy.
See ya.